Let me start, though, with something in your earnings that I know attracts a lot of attention always, and that is the performance of the Sandoz business. Of course, you've said you're reviewing what role that particular business, that generics business, plays. You said that in the past. Do you feel that the performance you've reported today for Sandoz adds extra pressure on management to resolve the future of that company?
Yeah, thanks both. Really nice to be with you today. When you look at Sandoz right now, we're entering a period really where we're setting up the business for its next wave of growth. Right now in 2022, we expect to stabilize, particularly our U.S. business, get some of our biosimilars filings on track, and then we would expect in the 23 period going forward, this business to return to a more attractive growth profile. And we're quite excited about that. And of course, over the course of this year, we'll hopefully be able to announce by the end of the year the completion of the strategic review and the path forward for this business.
So Vas, that seems to imply that you're pretty confident that Sandoz will still be a clear part of Novartis by the end of 2022. Longer term, do you think it's more likely to be spun off or a sale? And do you think the reported valuation of 25 billion sounds roughly right, or where are you seeing that?
You know, I think it's early days in the strategic review. We're in the process right now of completing the carve-out financials, providing the information that counterparties need, both from private equity, also other potential partners and buyers. And we're going to look at all of the proposals we get back over the course of this year. I think it's early days to really make a clear decision or clear direction. I see some of the numbers thrown out in the media. I think those are, of course, very interesting to see. But I think we still need to see, of course, concrete proposals, and that will only come when we provide those detailed financials and we get back solid proposals which we can take decisions on. And I do think that's going to take some more months.
Given the parties you're talking to about the possibility of buying the business, Vas, is it more like, if it's sold, is it likely to end up in private equity hands?
Again, I think it's early days. I mean, I think there's a lot of interest, as you can see in the media, from private equity. There's, of course, also other generic players which are interested as well and have entered, various stages of discussion, early discussions, I would say. So it's all in flux at the moment. We're very much in a position of listening to the potential proposals, the structures of those proposals, getting our house in order to be able to provide the information those parties need, and then we'll see where it takes us. But really, no preconceived notions of where this will go.
Vas, one final question, I think, on Sandoz. Can you outline some of the challenges about separating the business? From what I understand, the biosimilars business in particular is very integrated in the whole Novartis infrastructure and will be very hard to separate. Can you give us some comment on that?
Yeah, we think biosimilars is very much part of the Sandoz business, first of all. So I think that would be, we consider part of the Sandoz perimeter. All of the sales, commercialization, product development, that all sits within our Sandoz business unit today. The only point of intersection is within manufacturing for the existing biosimilars. If there were a separation of Sandoz, Novartis would continue to produce those biosimilars for Sandoz in our biologics network. But of course, Sandoz would then also be able to build up its own biologicals capacity for future biosimilars. So that's the way we're thinking about it. But it's important to note the only place right now where there is an overlap is within the biological supply chain, where Novartis produces those medicines for Sandoz.
Okay, so that's the extent of the overlap. Can I ask you, let's move on then, Vas, as you've made the point a few times that this is all still to be decided. Kesimpta, which is an MS treatment, how is the rollout for that going? Some in the market say you've got pretty high expectations. Can you live up to those?
Look, I think we're really excited about the trends we're seeing on Kesimpta at the moment. Kesimpta is a MS treatment. It offers patients the opportunity to have at-home once-monthly injections to treat their multiple sclerosis. We saw really important share gains over the last 2 quarters in the U.S. We're the second most prescribed medicine amongst new patients on therapy in the novel drug category. That's giving us really strong momentum in the U.S. We're now launching across Europe. We got an approval in China. So we continue to expect Kesimpta to be a multi-billion-dollar medicine and be one of the most important growth drivers for Novartis over the coming 5 years.
You made a really big bet with your COVID-19 drug, Ensovibep. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Are you worried that it's not properly getting to market until too late?
With Enzovibep right now, we're excited by the phase 2b data. It's really important to note as well, at least in vitro studies, the medicine seems to hold up against a very broad range of COVID variants, including the Omicron variant. Early data as well, even on the new Omicron subvariant, the medicine seems to hold up. We're in advanced discussions with the US FDA, as well as initial discussions with other regulators to put forward emergency use authorization filings. Then we'll have to see how the regulators look at that data. Would they want the full phase 3 data, or would they be willing to authorize the medicine even now? And we'll understand that better over the coming months. But we remain excited because I think the world needs medicines that can be used regardless of COVID strains, even as the pandemic becomes more endemic with COVID-19. And I think Enzovibep gives that opportunity as a one-time injection, which we hope to make eventually a subcutaneous injection, which would provide another option if patients don't want to take orals for 5 days or longer.
It took us 4 minutes in our conversation, Vas, to get to COVID-19, which perhaps tells us something very unscientific about how far through the process of getting to endemic we are. Let me ask you, though, about M&A and what is a priority on that front. Some people are interested what you're going to spend the proceeds of Sandoz on, and also whether you're feeling any sort of sector pressure to do any M&A at this point.
Yeah, in terms of M&A, we stick with our strategy, looking at bolt-on M&A that fits in our therapeutic areas. If you look at our median deal size over the last 4 years, it's generally been less than $2 billion. Most of the deals actually even sub $1 billion. So we're continuing to look at the opportunities that are out there. We committed in our recent R&D day that we believe we can grow 4% plus out to 2026 and above peer median in the subsequent 5-year period and beyond, based on the pipeline we already have in-house. We believe we have 20 significant medicines that we could launch by 2026. That gives us a lot of pipeline replacement power. We believe as the markets understand those medicines better, we'll be able to show our growth profile for the longer term. And M&A becomes something that's we can use to supplement that growth, but not needed for that growth. So let's see how biotech markets evolve. Let's see how the assets start to settle down in terms of valuation, and then we'll assess over the course of this year.